Lonely Hero's Best Scene.
When this particular briefing at the Pentagon was over, Mickey Gross, a fellow CIA agent and recent acquaintance in the agency, came over to speak with me. Mickey introduced me to a man wearing a name tag that read only guest. When Mickey mentioned that this mystery man was writing the most top-secret book in history, I was visibly intrigued. So, Mickey, noticing my look of curiosity, invited me and this mystery guest to dinner at his home that very evening. After inviting me, Mickey whispered in my ear, "Get ready to have your mind blown, pal." Later that evening, when I knocked on Mickey and Victoria's front door, I had no idea of the rabbit hole I was stepping into.
Exterior, large home in Virginia, night. Roger Taylor, dressed in a suit and tie, ringing the front doorbell, holding a box of chocolate. Victoria answers the door, wearing a low-cut V-neck top.
Roger Taylor, do come in. How did you know I adore chocolate?
Big smile.
Most women do, actually. You have a beautiful home.
Roger enters and Victoria closes the door behind him.
Please, do come in.
Interior living room, 6 chairs around the dining room table, with a table set for 6 people to eat dinner, leather couch in the living room.
The dinner party consisted of Mickey and Victoria, with the mystery guests seated at the dining room table. Jake and Lola, the 4-year-old genius twins, were standing waiting to greet me. I had heard at the agency how intelligent their 4-year-olds were, but I had no idea until I met them.
Walking over toward Roger before he has a chance to sit down.
Sir, may I hold your hand for a moment?
Playing along, Roger reaches out his left hand, which Lola grabbed and held for 30 seconds as she looked deep into his eyes.
Your decisions will set everything in motion for good or for evil. You must not fail.
Roger glanced at Victoria with a raised eyebrow.
Roger, my children are very intuitive. Sometimes they can read a person's past or future. Perhaps they're just quoting fortune cookies, I'm not sure which.
Jake walks over to Roger and extends his hand.
May I hold your hand as well?
Hesitantly, Roger extends his hand to Jake. Grabbing Roger's ring, middle, and index finger, they enter into a staring contest for a full minute before Jake speaks.
When your mission is completed, if you survive, you will be offered a unique choice. No pressure, but if you fail, the human race is finished.
After gulping down the glass of wine Mickey had just poured and handed to him.
Is this on the level? Or do Jake and Lola do this to all your dinner guests?
Speaking from the kitchen.
I'm afraid, Roger, that this is no put-up job.
At this point, the writer of the top secret report joins the conversation, standing from his seat at the dinner table and walking over to Roger. Gesturing for Roger to walk with him and join him in the living room.
Roger, my name is Ian Park. What we are about to tell you is top secret and classified. You must not discuss anything you are about to hear with anyone. Is that understood?
Roger nods his head slowly.
Back in the 1990s, I worked as an administrator of a nursing home in Queens, New York. One day, a man came in and asked for a room. Eventually, after months of trying to gain his confidence, he confided in me and shared his life story. This incredible man's tale changed my life forever. His name was Jeff, and he was one of 4 time travelers who came back from the year 2133 to 1938. He and 3 other scientists from the future helped change the outcome of World War II. You see, in their future reality, Germany had won the war. Victoria Gross is the time traveler Jeff's daughter.
Sitting down, or more accurately, falling down onto the couch, Roger sat in stunned belief for a moment as Ian retrieved his father's leather attaché case, which was leaning against his chair in the dining room.
Roger, you must read this 300-page report. It explains everything that I have found out up to this point.
Roger turns his head to look at Victoria in the kitchen.
Victoria, is this on the level? Your father was a time traveler from the future?
Yes.
Holy shit. Ian, who else has read this report of yours?
No one. It isn't even close to completion. There are still others I will need to interview in the future.
Mickey walks over and sits on the couch next to Roger.
Victoria and I have been dying to read this manuscript, but Ian hasn't allowed us to look at it. You should be honored.
Ian, why ask me to read this and not allow Victoria or Mickey to look at it?
Because I was told only you should read it.
Who told you only I should read it?
Hesitating before answering.
The Defender, an alien being with godlike powers. Trust me, I know how this must sound to you.
Victoria walks over and sits on the arm of the couch, putting her arm around Roger's shoulders.
Roger, as crazy as all this sounds to you, please try to open your mind and accept what we are being told. It's vital that you do.
Please read this as soon as you can, and call me at this number when you finish it.
Handing Roger a business card.
I have another appointment right now with someone I have been trying to interview for 2 years. Sorry to drop a bomb like this on you and then leave. Call me.
Ian exits.
As I sat alone for a minute while Victoria and Mickey went back to the kitchen to prepare dinner, the strangest feeling came over me. I had never experienced fear in my work until this moment. I found myself shaking like a leaf as I thought about what had been said to me in the past 5 minutes. Just as I felt a bit calmer, Jake walked over.
Did you know there are several Russian hitmen looking for you?
Yes, that thought had occurred to me, but thank you for mentioning it.
Reaching into his pocket to reach for a lead ball.
Hold this for 2 minutes.
Handing the orb to Roger.
May I ask why?
As Roger takes hold of the orb.
6 years ago, you repaired a working nuclear weapon in Kiev. You now have early-stage leukemia. This orb will cure you.
Victoria walks over to Roger as she was listening to Jake's words.
You are beginning to feel stronger, aren't you?
I can't deny it. Yes.
Turning his hand over to examine the orb.
This weighed over 2 pounds a minute ago. Now it's light as a feather. How is this possible?
This orb was given by the Defender to my father to save his life a half-century ago. Jake was told in his sleep to give it to you tonight. Roger, I am sorry we've put you through a door you may not have been prepared to enter. However, it does appear that the Defender has chosen you to save the human race. Now, you ready for dinner?
I'm sorry, Victoria. I seem to have lost my appetite. Tell me, do any of your dinner guests actually stay for dinner?
On rare occasions.
Saying my stunned goodbyes to everyone, I left rather abruptly. My heart was pounding with a fear of the unknown as to what my role in all this would be. I read the report Ian had written for the next 2 days. It read like pure science fiction, but somehow I knew it was all true. I was being pulled into the twilight zone. I stepped off the cliff of reality. Only time would tell where this would lead me.